is define your key performance indicators. What are those numbers? Now, the reason why you want to be very careful about this is because you become what you measure, right? So if you're measuring cost per sale, for cost per lead, you're going to generate more leads for less money. It's just innate. It's just what we do. If you measure yourself by the number of comments that you get for every posting, you are going to be more controversial, or you're going to write differently than if your goal is to just be out there. So you've got to, you become what you measure, so you've got to define that very carefully. Cost savings, efficiency, cost per, efficiency can be cost per lead or cost per customer acquisition. It can also be cost per message communicated. What did it cost me to get people to get those messages out there? It could be productivity. Have you improved morale? Have you improved employee engagement? Have you lowered recruitment costs? The standard way that we've all been using for long, and it's not the perfect answer, but I'm going to go into more definition of engagement later, but ratio of posts to comments is one way of measuring engagement. Number of repeat visitors. Number of visitors who spend more than 5 minutes or more. Percentage of people who are willing to give you an email address or to register. Those are key performance indicators that say, yes, people are getting more involved and more engaged in what I'm doing. Then, on the other side, on the reputational side, it may be, I want more people to trust us, right? When we were measuring Facebook, I said, what's the one thing at the end of the year that you wanted PR to accomplish? And Mark Zuckerberg said, basically, I want more people to trust us. Not that that worked, but we know how to trust, we know how to measure trust, and I'm going to talk about that. That's basically, there's a whole methodology that has been developed to measure trust, and I'm going to go into that in a minute, but you can measure that. Thought leadership. I want people to think that I'm an expert on the topic, so you look at whether my people are being quoted more often than the competition's people. Or how many opportunities to speak, or how many invitations to guest blog or guest post. Maybe it's message penetration. You still want to get those messages out there. It's not just a question of are they showing up, it's a question of are people getting engaged in it? Are they positioning you as you want to be positioned? Have you improved a favorable to negative ratio? Or have you improved something what we call the optimal content score, and I'm going to talk about that a bit. So what makes the perfect communications KPI? Basically, it's actionable, it gets you where you want to go, it continuously improves your process, and it's there when you need it. And that's the most important point, because for some reason everybody decides in December to measure everything. But how many people have actually planned their budgets in December? No, and besides which, if you call me in December and say I need a report, I'm not going to deliver it to you until January, because it's going to take at least 4 weeks to do. So you've got to plan backwards 4 weeks from when you want to actually get the data in hand. And if you're continuously making changes, then you need to make sure that the data is there every month or every quarter. But it's basically, when do you need the data?
What's the frequency?